Hello guys, welcome back. So in this video we would be using the sites that we imported, and then we'll be creating our own site drawing from that. Okay, positioning the building and then also mapping out the areas of the site. Okay, the private garden, the parking and the green areas. All right. Now, if you notice something in this particular import, you can see that the north arrow is facing this way, and that was the same thing I explained. So when I did it the last time, I had to make everything straight so that my floor plan can appear straight, and that's why my north arrow is this way on the site plan. But I think best practice north arrow is supposed to be facing the vertical direction upwards. Alright, so we'll correct that in this particular video, or this particular series rather. So the next thing we would do after this, don't forget to change your units back. Right, remember we changed it to meters for our property line. Don't forget to change it back to millimeters if you're comfortable working with millimeters. Now I will just take this, or rather what I would do, yes, I'll take this and let's make our building align to it. So if you see in the previous one or I did rather, the alignment was at the back. Remember I told you we had to find a way to align the sides, this side to this. Okay, but in this previous one it was the back we used as our reference, the rear property line. Do we change it? No, I think we'll just keep this alignment as we want it. A little things might change with the figures and all, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, because we have enough space to play around. So what I would do now, since because this is this way, to be able to create this boundaries, site layout and all the rest of them, I would, because this is straight, I would rather do this on the ground floor level, but I will use detail lines, that is 2D elements, to generate them, so that when I move, once I'm done, I can easily copy it and paste on this view that is looking this way. Okay, so with that said, I would do all those adjustments on this ground floor. Alright, so I'll move this out of the way for now, and I would just copy, go to the site, select this copy. Alright, this copy, and then I'll come to ground floor and I'll just align to current view. Okay, so after aligning it, it's upside down. Alright, so I think align can work for, so I'll just align this to this, or rather rotate it, pick center, rotate to this point, and do another rotate again. Let me see if the align tool will work now. It doesn't work on these pictures. Okay, so to get this alignment right, we can, let me see, will this work? No. How do we align this? How do we align this? How do we get this to 90 degrees? Let me see if this would work. Nope. So pictures must be rotated if you want them to get to 90 degrees. Okay, so I can do DL for detail line. I will just choose maybe a line with color this. So I'll just draw this line in alignment with this. What I want to do is to get this angle so that I can rotate it exactly. So I'll do this and get this angle, which is 1.87. So if I select this, I would rotate by 1.87 and it's straight. Okay, you can see it's now straight. Okay, so different ways to kill a rat, as they say. Alright, now with that done, let me rescale this drawing to fit with these dimensions I have on the drawings. So I would use let me use these two ends as a reference. So I'll enable snaps. I would scale, and I will scale from here to this end, to this end, and I'll scale to 1, 3, 1, 2, 5. Okay, 1, 3, 1, 2, 5. So you can see, even just physically aligning it a little, you can see that the building almost fits. Now why it's not properly aligned, remember, because this is horizontally, this is 90 degrees, this was our reference, but now we are using this end as the reference, so that's why it's not giving us exact locations or precisions. Okay, now with that said, we can, okay, so I don't want to pick everything exact. Okay, let's just run with it as if we are doing a normal design. Okay, so after getting this, now we want to get our offsets from the fence. So what I would do is go to annotate detail line, which is this, or DL for shortcut, and select that. I'll just use this part of travel because it's usually a green line, in green in color, and so I'll offset. This is the offset tool. Sorry, yeah, go back to DL, part of travel, then I'll use peak lines. Okay, and I'll choose offset. So usually the regulation says from the rear and sides you have minimum 3 meters, from the front minimum 6 meters. So I'll just go 3 meters from the back and see what that gives me. 3 from back, 3 from side, 3 from side, and if I do 1 to 6, so we have ample space to play around on this end. Okay, so what I would do, let me just take an estimate. Here we had about 4.4, here we had about 3.9, so I can then maybe call this 4.5. Alright, and the rear I will just do 4 meters. Okay, and then the front, I won't take any particular measurement for here. Once I put my building size, whatever is remaining, I'll work with that. Okay, now our building is 13,125 by 18,975. Now because this is straight, so we can simply take a box from that angle, from this point. Right, so we come here, let's use wide lines, let's take a straight box, and here is 13,125, and here is 18, 975, so 18975. All right, so I would move this box to this level, so that's the maximum or the minimum is that 4 meters, which is this. Okay, and so we have this. So this is our building location. This is where our building is going to sit. And then for the rest of the offsets, we can just delete these lines because we might not necessarily need them. I'll delete this, and okay, and this. Now we need to get our gate position, our parking, and then our private garden. So what we'll do, let's see, what was the gate? So from this end to here, okay, there is no dimension, but we can have an estimate. So I'll go DL again and draw a line on this point, and I'll say from here to here I can put 7 meters, because the gatehouse itself is 3.3 meters, so it's going to need ample space. So I'll just say 7 and I'll position the gate. The gatehouse itself is 5.7, so I can offset this 5700. And we have our gate position. Okay, then we have here a lawn of 2.205. okay, so what we can do, how do I make this a little different? Instead of going 1 2, maybe I can decide to just go 1 ton. Okay, but that would kill this island. Okay, so I can still go 2 steps, or maybe even 1. So let's see. Let's just put a line here, and and this line would be, let's say, from here to this point. Let's leave it as, let's say, the 6 meters we had. Alright, let it be the lawn offset, and then this one from this end, let's take from here to here, and let's have the 3 meters offsets that we had. Alright, although here it's 2.2, well, we have ample space, so let's just leave 3 meters. And so this is going to be our turning radius. Okay, so I can create similar and select fillets, and then maybe I'll just call this, okay, 4.2, not bad. Okay, so if the car comes in, it turns into park at this end. Alright, and parking space 3 meters for the width, so we can do offsets. We have about 3 cars here, so you can say 1 2 3. So if we have this as 3 cars, our parking ends here. Alright, and we can create similar again, just add this and trim this. Definitely the parking will not be as long as this. It's going to be 6 meters, so we can just delete this one, use this trim, select this and bring this to this level, and we'll just delete this line. Okay, so what we're simply doing, we're just creating outlines that we can work with. so that by the time we start actual modeling, it's easy to just pick the references that we've drawn instead of drawing them all afresh. Okay, now from the building, so from the building we have a loan of 1.2, then we have 1.2, 150, 150 is 300, that's 1.5 plus this 3.6. So we have from the building to this end 3.6. So we can measure this one and give a gap of 3600. Okay, and even check the turning radius for this 3 meters, right? So with that done, let's come here and see. So our ramp is 5.419, and from there we have our entrance and all this garden. So the garden runs from the edge of the building, and there's no dimension for this offset, but we can take it at the same level where we have this parking curb. Okay, so we can say that from this point to this point, this is going to be the boundary of our garden. Alright, and the length here, okay, there's no length for this, but this is 5.4. so what we'll do is we'll leave this area. When we detail out the building, maybe have the ground floor plan, we can establish where the main entrance is, and then from there determine what the actual lengths for all the rest of this would be. Okay, but from here we can also just get the boundary of the garden. So we have 1655. I'll just look for a calculator. Yeah, so we have 1655 plus 4.2 plus 1570, 7425. Okay, approximately. So you can offset this by 7425, or let's say 7500. Alright, so our garden will be here, our entrance will be here with the ramp. We have some green area on this end, and yeah, so I think we can work with this. Okay, this end, let's see what we have here. The gatehouse and this is a walkway. So when we get out the sketch, we'll establish where the walkway will start from. But what we can do before then, we can just give an offset of 1.2 for the green area. So we'll go here, give another offset 1200, and establish this. Even here, we can establish that this is going to be the green area. Alright, and we can just pull this to this level and establish that this whole area is going to be green, and then our security post, which is this, and we can even put the post, security post 3.3 by 7650. So we can create similar with this, draw a box, dimension it's 3300, and call this one 7600, I think. 7650. Okay, so this is our gatehouse. Alright, we'll do the actual positioning later, but for now we've established where our road network is, which is this. Okay, and this is a walkway. We're going to have a walkway down this area, and all of this is going to be green area. Okay, and with this we can actually start our model. We might not be able to get this island anymore, but if you want to, you can follow the plan exactly how it is, depending on your interests. Okay, so I just want to make something different. Let it not be totally exact. Alright, and with that done, I think we have a fair idea of what our layout would look like. Okay, so the next thing I would do is just to highlight all these lines and then group them so that I can take them to the site plan. Okay, so I would just select this, all the detail lines so if you do from right to left, you select everything within the circle, from left to right, everything that's the cursor touches. Alright, so from right to left, anything that goes within this box. From left to right, anything the box touches. Alright, so I'll go left to right, and I would create a group. So it's telling me that these elements can be grouped, which are dimension lines. And no, I would filter dimensions and elevations. These elevation lines, I will filter them out. Apply, so that it's even the views I will filter out. So it's just the lines I need, and I will apply and click OK. And when that's done, I can create my group. I can just call it site layout sketch. And with that done, I can simply just copy it, come to my site. I will delete this one, not necessary, and I would align to current view, and we see it automatically takes the rotation of this view because it's on the true north. If I change this new view from true north to project north, everything is going to become straight, but since it's a site, I want it to be on true north, so I will leave it this way. So when I want to do something that requires it to be straight, I can simply just do it on the ground floor, copy it. If it's a 2D walk, I can do it here, copy it and paste it to current view, and it would align it. But if it's a 3D element or a 3D geometry, as I'm modeling it on this view, it automatically takes place on this view too. Okay, so I think that will be it for this session. Then the next session, we would create, or rather, as we've done this, let's position our building so that the next session we can start modeling proper. Okay, so this is ground floor. I will just take this view, and now we have this boundary. I can move, let's see, I can't select this end, but I can move so how do I this it's easier. Okay, I can just move this end to this portion. Okay, it's not perfectly aligned, but I would click move here. Let me just select this end and just drop it on this line, and use this move, select this end and drop it on this line. Alright, so we see that it kind of matches, so I'll just pin this, maybe uncheck pin, so we see that it's kind of matches the boundary. See the boundary, and to an extent it matches. Even if it doesn't match, because we have the dimensions here, we'll be able to get our build into exact figures. Okay, so this is where our building is going to be. I did something after pinning it. I turned on this select pin element, so if you check this off, if it shows X, it means if you pin something you can't select it, and that's why I can't select this reference drawing. But if I check it back on, I can select it. Okay, so I'll do the same thing on the first floor, or rather, no, I would leave the first floor for now. When I establish the ground floor, because it's going to be aligned, the ground floor and the first floor, once I establish the ground floor, I would then position the first floor so that the alignment is perfect. Alright, so in the next video we would go straight to modeling. Alright, see you guys, bye.